Okay, so tonight I'm actually out to field test the Samaya Inspire 2. Samaya specialise in single skin tents, and this is obviously a single skin tent for 3-season use. Tonight I've actually got a forecast of potentially 40-mile-an-hour gusts, which will be a real challenge for a 3-season tent. And also in the morning there's heavy rain, which will be a challenge for the single skin aspect. So let's see how the tent actually gets on. I'm really looking forward to actually finding out. Okay, so I just wanted to talk, I suppose, just a bit about my observations and thoughts on the tent so far. Pitching the tent there, I had a little bit of a challenge, just simply because, it was quite windy. The two poles are the same length, and they're marked. There's a black section of pole which goes into the pole sleeve first. And they were very, very easy to thread through the pole sleeves. But even before the tent was got out, the main sort of structure of the tent felt, fairly stable. And then tightened down the tension adjusters, and then had a bit of a rush to get into it before it kind of got soaked. And then getting up and set up on the tent. I have the vestibule open at the moment, and I have also got access to the rear vestibule. And I just really have enjoyed just so much space to either sit up, and I can move right back to the sort of to one of the sides of the tent. Probably into 1/4 of the tent, or maybe even 1/5 of it, and I can still actually sit up, and I'm 6'1". I've used and utilised the different pockets. There's a pocket on the roof here on either side of the tent, and then a kind of a wall pocket, which I'll sort of show you now, and it runs the full width of the tent, which is really handy. And then here above me I've kind of got a few light things in the sort of gear loft. So I've really enjoyed the comfort. So far it's been really good. All right, good morning. So what are my thoughts on this Samaya Inspire 2? First of all, I come up here to sort of get a wind performance test, and the tent has actually done really well. So last night I got out and I measured the wind, I think 31 miles per hour, and it's definitely gusting to 35, possibly 40. I just can't stand out half the night trying to get wind speed measurements. But it's only measured 30 miles per hour, and the tent is really solid. Really solid. Particularly here, at this point where the poles cross, the guy line is at exactly the right angle. And even when I pushed against the pole, the same way as what the wind was blowing it, it was really strong. So wind resistance. There's a fair amount of vestibule deformation, but you'll get that on a lot of tents. So wind performance is exceptional, and I know it could take a good bit more. Condensation, nothing. There was a little bit of dampness at one point, but this morning, you'll not really be able to see it on my hand, but it's just completely dry. I really enjoyed the camp, and I really just enjoyed the space. It was really good. I enjoyed the likes of the pockets and the gear loft. The build quality on Samaya tents is absolutely exceptional. And I think one thing I can tell you that sort of explains it all. I have a Samaya Assault 2. It's one of the 8K ranges, and I've done a few videos on it, and I've absolutely loved it. And my friend's come up camp with me. He's heard what I've had to say about it, but he's also experienced it and seen it for himself. And he actually went out and bought one. And I think that just says it all. He has a lot of top-end tents, and he bought one. So I think that says it all. So the tent, it has a few little things that I would maybe do differently. But then I'm not a tent designer. I'll tell you those in a minute. But the tent definitely does feel special. If you're looking at something like this, and you're wanting something that's really high quality, and it just gives you that special feeling when you're in it, then this tent definitely delivers. Now the vestibules are actually modular and you can zip them off. I'm not going to do that today. I've given you a wee quick sort of demo of where the zipper points are, and it just means then you have the full length of this tent, you know, of the door. And if you like sort of stargazing or views, I've got complete cloud covered in at the moment, so I can't really see anything. But I mean, it's great for views, and obviously the mesh here for ventilation. So this is not a total review on a tent, it's just sort of the experience that I've had on an overnight camp, and it's been a really good one. And finally then, just a couple of little points that I would maybe change. The zipper here is only actually one way, so it's not a two-way zip. And I just sort of found that when I had last night, because of the vestibule deformation and the wind and the rain, I wanted to have everything closed, and then I just noticed that I couldn't vent the zipper from the top. But it's maybe only in that type of condition that you would do that. Obviously you can take the vestibules completely off. I could have possibly vented from the outside. So look, thank you very much for watching. I'll be running more videos on this tent, more field tests, and we'll see how actually we get on.